Welcome to the Lightworker podcast. I am your host, Natalie Grant. I am a lightworker, a meditation facilitator, Reiki master, and a health and wellness enthusiast who thrives on helping people. Connection is my superpower, and I just love bringing people to a space where transformation can occur. Are you looking for information on being a light worker? Are you a light worker and just love collecting knowledge from other light workers? To be involved, don't you, Archie? You like being in this with us? Yeah.
Conversations with Archie.
With Archie and the blue couch. Oh, we just never know where it's going to go. So,
Yeah.
But yes, we like what we were just saying. It feels like there's just an urgency to just share the perspective that our community is starting to unravel with this ascension or consciousness shift or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, I feel like ascension is the word.
It is,
Yeah.
right? That's happening now. And that's why this has sort of come about, is to just get into the situation where I've got a vehicle to share this stuff. So I'm sort of just putting it all together and seeing how it comes about, and cameras and
all of the things.
It's just and I mean, this is the dodgy home setup. I'm sure that there's lots more professional ones.
Yeah, but who knows what can evolve,
right?
You never know where
Exactly.
the ascension journey is going to take you.
Yeah,
Could be that you feel that real pull to connect from the voice, which I think is so relevant right now.
Yeah.
Anytime I talk about throat chakra stuff with people, they're like, me.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I spent doing throat chakra work. I spent a good part of probably 8 years
On yourself.
working on my own, activating my voice.
Yeah.
And that's where podcasting for me started, was to overcome my own fear of hearing my own voice.
Hearing your own voice.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, interesting.
It brought up, hatred within.
Okay.
So,
because of the sound of your own voice, or because it had been, muted through your life, or because you didn't feel like it was valid? Or...
So it's really interesting, because on a, consciousness level... All I knew was that in my life I would struggle to form sentences, even, in conversations, or if I had an opinion on something, I would struggle to actually pull all of the information together to be able to even speak those words out loud.
Interesting.
The person that you see sitting here today is a completely different person to that other person, especially when people were looking at you.
Yeah, okay.
And a lot of that, there were things that happened in childhood that were definitely important for me to have a look at, but most of it, the body responses and the weirdness around, just go mute. The stressful thing would be happening around you, and you couldn't even form words to say you didn't want whatever it was to be happening, right? Or that you disagreed with it, or anything. It's just nothing would come out. So the answers for me in that came from exploring past lives.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
That makes sense. And what did you find?
Oh, the catchphrase is witch wounds, and lives of persecution is probably the better terminology to use, because who knew if we were really witches or anything? That's just terminology that gets thrown around now. But we were people that the community would ostracize because it was, whatever we were doing was different.
Yeah. But I guess, if you talk about it that way, if we were doing back then what we're doing now, we would be witches.
Yeah.
And I feel like so many people still have that wound that's so deep and obvious. I remember having this conversation with someone once about like exactly what we're talking about now, and being like, oh, if we did this back then we would have been witches. And she's like, oh, you've really triggered me. And I was like, I'm so sorry, like I didn't know. And she's like, oh, I'm not a witch. And I'm like, okay, that's cool. Like, I'm just,
Yeah,
like,
but even that response, right? It's so interesting because that response indicates that you absolutely need to go and look at it.
Yeah.
If you're wanting to move beyond whatever holding pattern you're in. Because I know the journey of the throat chakra for me showed me, like, you can't hide. It's like whatever you're trying to hide from is the thing you got to go and look at.
Yeah, I know, it's so uncomfortable.
And for some reason, every single person in your community knows what to say that's going to trigger you.
Yeah.
And really piss you off, you know? So it's like, I got used to using that as recognizing I've got to do work.
Yeah.
You know, like whatever it was, fear would rise up. And I'm like, oh, I got to look at this. This is something I need to give my attention to. And it was like little things like just doing a self-healing Reiki session to begin with, just stopping and taking that moment. But then that wasn't really nudging it, you know, just doing the self-healing. So that's where the support comes in, you know, where we're so lucky in our community that as practitioners, sure, we support other people, but we also have the opportunity for other people to support us and actually go and book a Reiki session or have a session, you know, for you, so that you can stop and you can help have someone help you. And I found myself doing that a lot when I was on that journey with the throat.
That makes sense. But I think it's also interesting to see how Reiki naturally evolves in your own practice and your own healing journey.
Yes.
Like you go from this is what Reiki is. And like on my trip to Japan last year, I went and got a Reiki session from someone who was traditionally changed, like through the Usui method.
Let's hear about this.
Yeah, it was so exciting. And I was so excited because it was in Kyoto, and that's like kind of like the birthplace, like that's where Mount Karama sits from. So that's where Dr. Mikao Usui like came into his power and his gifts.
Yeah.
And so I was like, oh, I can't wait to get this session. So I finally found someone that spoke enough English for me to book.
Yep.
And I went in, and through like really broken English, he was like, okay, I'll do the session for you. And he literally just did it the way that you get taught when you do Reiki level 1.
What's a hand position?
Like these are the hand positions, zero talking, zero communication. I'm just going to go through the hand positions, and the Reiki wisdom is like what is coming through for you. So like whatever shifts will shifts, and the subtle energies will move through you.
Yeah, which it absolutely does.
Yeah. And he'd written a book, so I bought his English version of the book, which was pretty basic but interesting to read.
Yeah.
And then I messaged him when I got back to Australia as I was writing my Reiki Masters.
Yeah.
And I said to him, like, what is the one piece of advice that you could offer? And he said to me that the thing is that when we take Reiki from Japan to the West, the thing that is lost is the simplicity of things.
Yeah.
We overcomplicate it in the West, and that it is actually this natural energy that wants to move through us. So I think like Reiki's so beautiful because it is so subtle and gentle, but then it's what we make it and how we progress that path that makes it evolve.
Yeah, and it's quite interesting how the experience that I've had being the Westerner that has been introduced to the simplicity of that. In order to appreciate the simplicity of it, you go on a journey.
You do, and I think that's part of what I was learning when I was writing my Reiki Masters, because I was like, I really want to get to the point of what that is and what that means.
Yeah.
And so like the thing that I ended up coming away from is that when you get to become a Reiki Master, it's like you realize you know nothing and you have to go back to the basics, like where you started. Yeah. So it was like this beautiful, you know, full circle kind of moment.
It is. It's absolutely a full circle moment. But the thing that you have that when you didn't have when you started that journey was the self-awareness that you get gifted at the other end. Yeah. And for whatever the journey is for anyone that's on the path of Reiki, for me the takeaway is the self-awareness. but deep self-awareness. Like how is your energy and how you're presenting yourself affecting your reality or creating it, depending on how you want to look at it, you know?
Yeah.
How are you contributing to the situation? Is your energy fully infiltrating someone else's by you wanting to fix them, change them, do something for them that they need to be doing for themselves? Or are you able to become that neutral channel?
With no judgment.
Without any judgment. You're just showing up and witnessing another person in however they are, being however they are, and allowing that to just unfold for them. You know?
Yeah.
And it takes time to be able to do that, because we don't even know when we start. Or no, I can only talk for myself, but you actually don't know where your energy is most of the time. You don't even know who is operating your bus.
Yeah, no, I totally
Being
agree.
the body is what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, for most of us, when we start a spiritual path, we don't even realize that most of the things we do are done for us by some autopilot response that happens that we are not conscious of.
Yeah.
When we first start.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's an interesting question, because it's like when you read about the science-backed evidence, it's like the subconscious runs your mind and runs the show 95% of the time. But is your subconscious? Oh my gosh.
You're right. Something we need to know about, mate?
Like, is it the subconscious, or is it something else? And is it energy you're picking up as the collective, or is it something that's within you, or like, what is it?
Yeah. Well, I mean, the experience that I've kind of come to an understanding around is that it's the energy that's in us. All of it. And whatever frequency, if you want to use frequency as an analogy, whatever frequency we're vibrating at, we become like magnets that attract more of that.
Yeah. Well, that makes sense, like when you think about the concept of everything as energy, and that there is no difference between you and I. Like, we're all unity, we're all like one evolving consciousness, for lack of a better term.
Yeah, and in the West, there has been an active push to stop human beings from having access to your birthright, and that is connection with...
Oh my God, I'm so glad you brought this up.
Connection with whatever you want to call the unifying field, the quantum field, the source energy, the source field. But that is you. That has been absolutely my discovery with my own work, is that some people call that God.
Yeah.
All right? Without any religious dogma or even teachings behind it. It's literally you and your physical body sitting here in the now moment discovering what is. Like even Mikhail Yusui, right? He didn't have a book.
No.
He didn't teach hand positions.
Yeah, well, that's exactly it.
He went and sat on a mountain.
Yeah. And when I went to Japan, I went to the mountain, because
I
was just like, that's going to be something that's like, this is my full circle Reiki moment.
Yeah.
Going to the source of where it was. And so I did a bit of research before I went to Mount Kurama.
Yeah.
It's a little bit out of Kyoto, a little bit hard to get there, but beautiful journey.
Yeah.
And so when you learn about the mountain, in Japan, they had a religion that's not so in practice now called Shintoism. So Shintoism is the study or worship of ancient beings, ancestors, and nature. And so that was kind of where Mikhail would have been sitting within. Like, that was the time frame that he would have been sitting within.
Yeah.
But prior to that, there's history of the mountain itself. So it says that the first person who really recognized the power of Mount Kurama was, I'm pretty sure, don't quote me on this, but a Chinese Buddhist that got this sudden call, like it was in his dream that he had to go to this mountain. And so that's where they built the first temple from. I think it was a temple, not a bridge. Can't think of
like an arch.
I want to call it, like an arch.
Yeah.
To really capture the energy of the mountain, because he recognized that the mountain itself was powerful.
And that's something that more of us that are getting to the point of this self-awareness stage, we're starting to be called to the land.
Yeah.
be called to different parts of the land, different locations, you know, whether it means moving house or actually just flying across countries, which is something you do a lot of.
I do so much of it. I just trust my intuition.
Just off you go.
Yeah.
And go and connect with the energy of the land.
Yeah.
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 So that's the thing that I sit here when it comes to to Reiki in itself, and I sit and think about what our roots are of it. It was a person who decided to go and connect with the elements.
Mm-hmm.
To bare his soul, to be in pure presence, without any food, right? Which a lot of us get into fasting because it seems that your channel gets clearer when you do that. So
much clearer. And coffee,
yeah,
as a side note.
Right. Well, see, it's interesting with coffee too, right? You ebb and flow, right? It's a bit like fasting. You're not going to fast all the time either, you know? So, and everybody's body's different, but it's the sort of the point is, it's like he went to figure out who he was and what his connection to that energy looked like, felt like, tasted like, touched like, was like.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Most people, I would say, don't have the intestinal fortitude, I know I don't, to go and sit on a mountain day and night for 21 days.
Yeah, I probably wouldn't do that either.
No.
But then it's like the path of the rishis, or like the ancient yogis as well, who go and meditate in the mountains in like Rishikesh. Rishikesh is actually called Rishikesh after the rishis, who kind of like found that whole practice.
Yeah.
And they get to those deeper stages of spiritual evolution where they start developing those psychic gifts, which they call siddhis in yogic context. And so they would go and like meditate in these mountain caves in the middle of winter when it was full of snow and ice, and like they'd be wearing their loincloth or whatever it was.
Yeah.
But they were able to actually even get to a point where they could
regulate their temperature.
Yeah, exactly.
And I think that, there have been a lot of times where I have been able to do that.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cool, and it's practice.
Yeah.
Like, you think things like Yoga Nidra, that teaches you that way of being. Like, it's such a powerful thing. Like, Yoga Nidra, please don't call it Nidra anyone because that means sleep, but Yoga Nidra is actually called psychic sleep.
Yeah,
like,
cool.
That's the word for it, because it helps you connect with your psychic gifts. And if you think about the elements of Yoga Nidra, it's connecting you to that body awareness and the self-awareness that we were talking about.
Right, which is probably one of the key components as we are kind of rolling on this ascension path at the moment. I really think is what I'm seeing is an importance in connecting back with the physical body, actually being here in present reality with the body. Yeah. Identifying when you're here, what is present for you. Are your thoughts off on 50 million tangents? Can you be able to just be here with yourself? Is your body in pain? You know, like sitting, when I first started sitting and meditating, it was painful because the body's starting to talk to you. Yeah. It's like, we need to look at this.
Yeah, so when you say painful, what kind of pain are you talking about?
Like the internal pain, the stuff that makes you want to shift and move, that sitting with yourself it's just the pure pain. It's just pain, the body giving a pain response.
So like mental pain, emotional pain?
Physical pain.
Physical pain.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what did you learn about physical pain along the way? What does it tell you?
Yeah, you need to stop and you need to be with it, and you need to stop trying to avoid it, stop blaming it, stop listening to the first voice that gives you a suggestion about what it might be, and instead sit with it.
Yeah.
And discover the truth of what it actually is.
Yeah. So it's kind of like you're letting go of the first story that pops up.
Yeah, or you're at least becoming aware that there are stories that are offered to you, and some of those stories are from ghosts from your past. You know, people that said something in passing, or a parent that taught you something, and it may or may not even be true. But it's almost like the journey of discovery for some people can start by the physical pain response because you haven't listened any other way.
Yeah.
So the body just goes, righto, I'll give you something to whinge about.
Oh yeah, I can talk about pain in the body until the cows come home.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's been part of my journey. That's where I really started Reiki, was because of the physical pain that I was feeling in my body.
Let's hear your story. I'm just going to let Archie out because he's just got this determination at the moment. And yeah, so let's talk about the physical pain because it's interesting because that's definitely your in, isn't it?
Yeah.
Let's hear your what got Monique on the path of, I mean, yoga, Reiki. You do a whole bunch of different things.
Yeah. So my journey started with yoga. Oh gosh, it was like 18 years ago I think I started, and it was I was working in the fashion industry at the time, super stressful, very chaotic. My flatmate at the time was a yoga teacher.
Interesting.
Yeah, she was from the States. We still keep in touch. Shout out to Kelsey. And she suggested that like I had glandular fever, like I got burnt out from work, so all I could really do was not much, and I was used to going to the gym and being like super active and all of that. So I got to a point where yoga was really all that I could do.
Yeah, right.
And so I kept going with that, and I found that it was a really interesting pathway because when you go down the path of yoga, you learn that it is very much about the path of self-awareness.
Yeah.
It's
you have to be able to hold the poses. You've got to be able to figure out, is my left toe in the right spot? Is my arm where it's supposed to be?
Yeah.
It's really a great way to become body aware.
Yeah, and so it brings you back into your body. So if you've experienced any kind of like physical trauma, then it's a really great way to start trusting your body again.
Yeah, right.
And at the time, I didn't really know that was part of my story. Like I was just like, oh, cool, yoga, yeah, it's awesome. And it wasn't until probably 5 or 6 years later that I ended up doing this deeply transformational type of yoga that comes from Satchinanda yoga. And I didn't know what it was at the time. It's just like, cool, Satchinanda yoga retreat. It's got like karma yoga and bhakti yoga and like devotional yoga, yoga nidra. Like, cool, I'm going to do this.
Kid in a candy store, let me try it. Oh, what happened?
I went to this retreat that was in New Zealand. And I literally thought I was being brainwashed.
Oh, yes, I can relate to that.
Yeah, it was like, oh my God, am I in a cult? I remember like the second night that I was there and thinking like, if I left in the middle of the night, would anybody notice? Like, is it going to be okay if I leave? Because
you really you had the worry vibes of they're completely shrinking your brain. And
because when I was younger, like we saw Hare Krishnas in the street and my mum was like, oh, don't go near the Hare Krishnas, they're going to brainwash you and don't ever go near them. And like me, because I'm rebellious, I'm just like, Hare Krishnas, they're cool. Like, look at them chanting and doing all the things. So then I ended up going to India with this group. And that's how I got to India for the first time, going to the Bihar School of Yoga, which is where a lot of the yogic texts are published. Yeah. And then I just got deeper and deeper into it. But then it wasn't until years later that I started getting problems with my endometriosis again. And it would have been the third operation that I'd had since I was 14. Yeah. So I started looking for alternatives, and one day I was in Elwood and I walked past this Reiki place and I was like, I should just give it a go. Yeah, cool. In Elwood. Yeah, why is Elwood a thing?
Oh, I just went back when I was in that area. I wouldn't have noticed something like that.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. It was like on the main street and I was like, oh cool, Alchemist Reiki, like I want to go in there. So I went in for a session and I told her that I want to work on my endo and is it possible? And we did a few sessions and she was like, oh, I'm running a Reiki level 1. I think you should really come and then you can work on your endometriosis through your 21 days of self-healing. So I was like, oh cool. And I found out that she had cured her own breast cancer and that she had, through distance healing, helped cure her husband's mother's cancer, or like prolonged her life from 6 months to 2 years. Yeah, wow. And so I was just a believer. I was just like, oh, cool. So you can like cure it with this. Yeah. So I worked on it every day and I had my operation booked. Yeah. And then I went into the operation the week before I had a healing crisis. Yes. So it got way worse. I was literally in fetal position for probably 5 days, couldn't do anything.
Yeah.
Had my operation, the surgeon came in and she was like, we didn't find any endometriosis. And I was like, what do you mean?
So like basically they put you under, had a look and went, oh, nothing here to see, sew you back up.
Yeah, nothing here to burn out this
that's
time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, and I'd had severe endo in the
So
past.
with that healing crisis, what was that like? Because that might be interesting if you're willing to share it,
Like I just remember being in fetal position pretty much because the pain was just so crippling. Yeah. And I'm sure at a level like there was a lot of emotional wounding that was coming up that was ready to be released and really seen as well.
So like when you were in those fetal positions, because when it's pain like that, you really can't do much else.
You can't.
Yeah.
Like it's all the nausea, like...
Yeah, so you were just travelling through the pain, through the nausea, just being and meeting it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. You
That's
just
the
have
key.
to sit with it.
That's the key.
Yeah. It is, and I think like that's a really valid point, like the healing crisis, like a lot of people don't get it.
No, a lot of people, they want to run away from it. Mm. They think that when that's happening, something is wrong.
Yeah.
Or it didn't work.
Yeah.
Or and when they believe the thought that it didn't, well, what you believe is what it will be. Mm. You know?
Yeah.
But yeah, the feelings, the emotions, the physical pain, if you can just feel it. Mm. On the other side of that is, in a lot of cases, magic happens.
Yeah, the healing.
Yeah, it's not something you can guarantee, right? Because really the healing that happens in anyone happens because you heal yourself. Mm. It isn't a practitioner that does it.
Yeah.
The practitioner sort of shows you the door.
And holds the space.
Absolutely. So that you can access that part of you that you need to get to. Mm. So that's pretty amazing. So that was 5 days of hell.
I think it was about 5 days.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then, and she was just like, all we really found was 2 small cysts. And then she came back the next day and was like, oh, we did actually find a tiny amount on your bladder. And so I went back to my Reiki teacher and I was like, well, what happened? And she was just like, you healed it.
Yeah.
And so that was like the confirmation that I needed. And I was like, oh my God, this is life-changing. I need to go and this is what I need to do.
So that's when you hit the frenzy zone, right?
That was just when I was like, oh my God, why is not everyone doing this?
How come no one knows about this?
Yeah. Imagine how many people could be saved from operations, from pills, from like, you know, when you have like all of the things wrong with you and you go to a doctor and they're like, oh, there's nothing wrong with you. We've done all the tests. Yeah. And it's like, but what's wrong with me then? Yeah. Because you've picked up so much, like, a lot of the time, sludge or whatever you want to call it.
It's a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
For me, it can be all sorts of things. It can be other people's energy. It can be energy from your past that is needing you to just give it daylight for 5 minutes. Sometimes longer than 5 minutes, but
gosh. And sometimes it comes back and back and then the next layer and layer.
Yeah, layers and layers. But it's just meeting it, I suppose, when it's time. But yeah, a lot of I mean, I was walking around with a lot of other people's energy in your field, a lot of ancestral stuff. Yeah. You know, like if you have the ability to go and have a look in your ancestry and find out what your grandmother, great-grandmother or grandfather and great-grandfather, what their life conditions were like, what they went through. And it's, you know, a few generations back now, particularly in Western culture, there's a lot of trauma.
There's so much.
And we inherit that trauma because there wasn't the understanding, or even really, there wasn't the time, to be honest, because they were living in wars, or they were living in famines, or they were living in, you know, substandard conditions. So they were just getting along in life. Yeah. And honestly, like most of us these days, we're not just surviving in our realities. We're doing a lot better than just surviving in most cases. So we have got the time to be that chink in the chain, to sit with what is, to allow it to rise and move through our bodies, And I mean, I get to see it in sessions with people when the ancestors all come in.
Yeah.
And how grateful they are to that person that's doing that work.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't do it.
Yeah. But then it goes both ways, doesn't it? Like, I mean, you have to sit in gratitude of all of the ancestors that came before you and everything they experienced for you to be living at this time.
Right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So.
And it's like the distractions are real, like the keeping us away from that gratitude, right? Or that appreciation for being able to be here right now, because we're all worrying about the next phone we're getting, or we're worrying about which bus didn't arrive, or we're, you know, like there's a lot of things that we really need to sit back and have a really hard look at what is actually in our reality right now. And really take a breath and just look around, look at a tree, be with whatever and meet whatever is there inside of you. Because a lot of the suffering that's going on is being created by us in our internal space, because we've had our connection to energy educated out of us over a few generations. You know, even in the Reiki history, it used to have to be keeping it secret. Yeah. Because it was dangerous. Yeah. You know, to be able to share that information, they would have been persecuted.
Yeah, interesting.
So, yeah, there's...
I guess it's the same when you talk about witchcraft as well. Like, to share that information, you were also persecuted.
Well, I mean, with witchcraft, even just people that would do plant medicine, you know, herbal, you know, dandelion teas and stuff like that. Because 300 years ago they introduced medicine and wanted to sell that as an idea, they had to discredit anyone who was doing anything different. And I mean, that's a big topic.
That is a big topic.
Right, which I don't know whether we've got the capacity
I feel like that
to deal
could get
with right now.
political.
But the timeline and when they were burning people at the stakes and when they were doing all of these things, if you have a look at timelines and you do a little bit of digging, it's worth having a look at that, and particularly women being targeted. Yeah. You know? Because, I mean, this is just an opinion, but women are the creators.
Yeah, no, I agree.
Now, we can't create without the men.
Yeah.
Okay? But we have the wombs.
Yeah. This is something that's so relevant in my field at the moment.
It's coming up for a lot of people.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, my original Reiki teacher wrote a book about Mary Magdalene.
Interesting.
And she now lives in Italy again. That's where she's from originally.
Okay.
So, yeah. And all the wounding and all the misrepresentation.
You know, there's a lot of the victors of war write our history. We have to remember that. And if you do regression work, you start piecing together a very different history than the one that we were taught. Because when you regress people into their past lives or alternate lives, they bring through a very different picture than perhaps the one that we're shown. And as the common denominator, the therapist that's holding that space, unless you're all deciding to have some big conspiracy on me and you've all decided to meet somewhere before you come to have your session and say, well, we're going to talk about this with Nat today. Yeah. You know, there's got to be something to the discoveries that we make as therapists in those sessions, because different people from different parts of the planet talk about the same things. Do you know? Yeah. And the same woundings and the same problems and the same traumas that they went through in alternate lives. And none of them know each other that I can tell. Yeah. Right? And I'm pretty sure there's not, you know, there's not some big great conspiracy to try and mess with Nat's head.
Well, I mean, there could be.
I doubt it. But, you know, like the things that have gone on in our history, in our bodies, you know, having a support with Reiki and other modalities like yoga, and I mean, I picked up martial arts. Yeah. and I love it. Right?
But it's all the same,
it's
isn't
really the same concepts, right? It's becoming aware, it's connecting to the energy part of you, and it's working in harmony with that energy and helping unblock any kinks that are in your body so that it can just flow through you, so that you're not using brute force, you're using the natural elements to move stuff around. You're working with your reality to be more harmonious, and it, in the same way that yoga, I have no doubt does, ends up helping you overcome the pain that's in the body.
Yeah, absolutely.
And build strength and move beyond the emotional,
the mind,
because you'll have sessions in yoga, I've no doubt, where you bawl your eyes out.
Oh yeah,
I mean, I have.
They're a real thing.
Yeah.
But also anything where you're opening through the chest.
Yeah.
Because we're so used to like being like this, and they talk a lot about the soleus muscle as well, the muscle of the soul, because that is that connector in that space. Like when it's really tight and short, like it's pulling us forward into this C shape. Yeah. And when we're in this shape, we're holding this like physical reality of fear. Yeah. Like this is the fear state, the fetal position. You wake up in the morning and you're in fetal position, like you're ready to like brace for whatever the world is going to throw your way. Yeah. And so if like the way that the world is at the moment, we're sitting at desks, staying in our C shape.
In the fetal position.
Yeah.
Or
we're on our phones, we're in the fetal position. Like we're constantly reenacting that shape, and so that shape becomes stronger. Yeah. And so like it's like that movie Don't Look Up. So we're literally like coming down into this C shape, and we're using our phones and our technology to show us the world instead of seeing what's actually going on within us. So it's like this information is coming in from all around us, like this external information, and we're forgetting the internal information. Like our whole body is literally being like, hey, are we going to change this?
Well, that's the bit that I really think has been educated out of people.
Yeah.
That because someone else always knows what's better for you. That was the education that I had. Yeah, okay. You know, and that's what school taught you. That other people know what is best for you.
Yeah. Wow.
Right?
Isn't it? Yeah. I mean, like, that's literally my favorite topic to teach is intuition.
Right.
Because I feel like I'm just, like, it blows my mind how we've forgotten.
Yeah, but that's generational, and that was done by design because of this persecution that happened intergenerationally. Yeah. And whether it was done knowingly or unknowingly by Dr. Evil or not, right? It happened. Yeah. And the result of that is a bunch of us now that are floundering around with no real clue of what the hell's going on, are seeing things we don't like. And a lot of people know they want to get off that, but they don't know how. Now, my path took me to Reiki. Yours took you to yoga and Reiki.
And I do all of the other energy things.
And you do all the things. So, I mean, me too. Like, I mean, my very first thing was body work, and it was massage. You know? So, but
it's the same, isn't it? It's like
all
you go
interlinked.
through the mind, through the body, to the spirit.
And then once you get on that path, and you do put a few tools in your toolbox, and then you do start paying attention to the internal world and start here's people's opinions. I'm noticing that when they have an opinion, I've got a body response to that. Yeah. Oh, I don't like that one. Oh, I don't mind this one. Right? I really think that should be people's cue to get curious. Yeah. Why don't you like that?
Yeah, but it's often not, is it? No. It's often like, I'm going to shut that down and put that in a box and never look at that again.
Yeah, or, oh no, you hear the voice in your head just overrides it. Oh no, but they know because they've studied it for 25 years and you haven't, so you don't really know. And there's that, just that seed of doubt that's planted, you know? Yeah. Even things like when you're trying to figure out, like, okay, something's happening for you, maybe for when you had the endo, right? And you're sitting there going, well, I know I need to do something here. Who do I see? Yeah. You know?
And it was that at the time. It's like, where do I even start? Like, if I want to go down a more holistic path, like, where do you begin? So when you walk past a place and you get a pull and you're like, maybe you should try that.
Yeah.
Then you have to trust that.
Yeah.
Because it's like, that's your internal wisdom being like, hey, like, what else do you need? This is a sign.
Yes.
And I think that people often think that their intuition is going to be this loud, booming voice that suddenly activates.
Yes.
But it's not. You just have to learn to be quiet and to be self-aware so you can, like, sit with that and actually hear it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Instead of the external noise.
Instead of the external. Yeah, I liken it to if we could begin to see the world that we're in as everything is creating us an offer. So you'll get your physical offers, which is people in your life give you their opinions, right? You get your internal offers, which is Negative Nancy lives in my head, right? I don't know what you call her.
Oh, yeah, she comes to visit.
Yeah, you might give her a different name, but I've got Negative Nancy up there. I've got the voice of reason. I've got that. I have that connection to the deep loving, knowing, all love. You know, you just know that voice. I got to listen to that one.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's not a voice. Sometimes it's a knowing. So even me articulating it this way can confuse people because it's not always like someone's talking to me.
Yeah.
You know, it's pictures, it's feelings, it's a knowing, really.
Yeah.
But you've got the external and the internal. It is so noisy. And then you've got to figure out a way, a practice, whatever that is. Some people go to the gym, right? Whatever it is, some people run. I used to run to get connected to that quiet.
Yeah, I get that.
Yeah?
Yeah.
And when you get that connection to the quiet, it's like it sorts the files of all the other stuff a bit easier. And then you can see the ones that are going to be unhelpful. So like Nancy.
Yeah.
And you can see the ones that are a little bit more interesting. So you sort of turn your attention to the interesting ideas or options. And then you might have a listen to all the external, so the opinions of others. And a bit like that when you're doing it physically with people, you've got to do it internally as well. You have to decide which internal space am I going to listen to and which external space am I going to listen to. And that part of you that's making that decision, that's the bit that when you get connected to that, your life starts changing.
Yeah, I agree.
But it doesn't happen like a lightning bolt, like you were saying.
No, and I think that's what people expect.
They do.
Yeah.
I expected that.
Yeah, and it's like when you ask for a sign, it's like you want somebody to physically hold up a sign and be like, this is the sign that you've been looking for. Like you have to literally ask for what you want.
Yeah.
If you want a sign to say this isn't right for you, then tell the universe, spirit, whatever you want to call it, what you actually need to see.
Yeah.
Like when I first moved here and was very unsure about moving to the Sunshine Coast again, I asked spirit because I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing here yet, and I still don't. No. But I asked just for a sign from spirit to show me a field of white feathers if I'm supposed to be here.
Yeah, wow.
And I was like, that's like really pushing it out there.
That is pushing it out there.
And within 2 hours, I went for a walk. I walked past an empty lot
Stop it.
at the bottom of our street, and it was full of white feathers.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's my field of white feathers that I wanted to see. Okay, spirit, I get it. Thanks. Yeah. So that, I mean, like, that's an example of like, you have to ask,
set
you have
an
to be
intention.
specific. Yeah.
Yeah, be
like,
specific.
Yeah. Otherwise, you just, I mean, if you go through life not having an intention or through work or whatever it is and you don't have an intention, then anything will do.
Yeah.
Because you don't really know the path that you're on.
And then if you keep changing your intention.
Oh, yeah.
You know? Because you're not really sure.
You're just treading water. You're going to get tired.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
But that's what it's like. As we kind of navigate all of that, we learn, and it helps us get connected to that part of us that is witnessing all of this, that is making the decisions, that is choosing not to let the autopilot take over, that is choosing to create the reality instead of sitting there going, oh, well, that's just the way it is.
Yeah.
Oh, this is just my life. I hate my job.
Yeah.
And whinge about it for the rest of your life.
Oh, yeah.
If that is you, then know that you don't have to.
Yeah.
Just because it's always been done doesn't mean that it has to continue being done. And maybe it's a little, it's the antagonist that's going to help propel you to where your next adventure begins.
Yeah.
Like you deciding to move from Melbourne to the Sunshine Coast.
Yeah, just trusting my intuition.
You know?
But that's the other thing about intuition, that I think that a big part of that comes from trust.
Yeah.
And if you've been burned in the past when you've trusted a decision and it hasn't worked out, it becomes really hard to start trusting that voice again and that wisdom. But you don't really notice how often you're trusting your intuition until you start paying attention to self-awareness.
Yeah.
So like if you set an intention for a day, on Mondays I like to have a flow day. So I'm like, my intuition leads on a Monday. We just do whatever my intuition wants. And so you look at the decisions that you have to make, like, what time do I want to get up? When I get up, do I want to get out of bed? Do I want to stay in bed? Do I want to have a cup of coffee? Like, do I want to read? Yeah. When I have breakfast, what do I want to eat? What do I want to wear today? What color do I feel like wearing today? Like, all of these little decisions from your intuition are really like the connection between your mind and body and soul, like working together in harmony.
And I love hearing that you set a whole day to pretty much what it sounds like is you just being present.
Yeah, it's my
with
flow
whatever
day.
the next thing is.
Yeah, and my husband loves it so much that now he has a flow day. And if we interrupt either of each other's flow days, like there's like, that's my flow day. Like, it's
I
a
love
thing.
that.
Yeah, it's a thing in our household. Yeah, we don't schedule stuff on our flow day.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
I think that's freeing.
Like, it is freeing.
That's freedom, right?
Yeah.
Because everybody has everything scheduled so hard these days. Every minute is organised to go to something that you've got to do.
Yeah. And where's the time for your intuition in that?
Well, that's the thing.
Yeah, where's the time for you to speak to your body and actually work out what you want? It's like, I'm sure you're very familiar with those stories of like, oh, somebody invited me over to their house and like, oh, even though I don't really want to go, I should go.
Yeah, hear
and
the
so
word, should.
Yeah, I really want to call that word out
Bleep
as well.
the shoulds.
Yeah. Like, you need to question the shoulds.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
I wonder whether the shoulds have been the problem.
Yeah.
Because one of the things that we were taught as kids is that we've got to listen to other people. We are supposed to ignore our own what we want to do, and we've got to put our shoes on, and then we have to go out and go to school, but we might not have wanted to, and there wasn't room to have a flow day or anything like that. So we got used to doing shoulds without questioning it.
Yeah.
And then the teacher, you get to school, you're late, right? Like you're in charge of the traffic. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you get in trouble because like you're in charge of even driving the car. And it just becomes this duty the whole time.
Yeah.
That you do everything out of duty, out of having to do it. And that's just hardwired into everyone.
It is.
And so we do shoulds and we're not conscious of it.
Yeah. But that's part of it, isn't it? Like the things that we learn in childhood like shape our subconscious mind that then runs the show 95% of the time, and so we're running on the same stories that we've learned as children. Like literally a child is running the show in your head at the moment. Would you want your 6-year-old child to be running your life and telling you what to do? Because that's what's happening if you're not questioning.
My God, I have made peace with so many little versions of myself.
Yeah.
It's like you bring them all in and you have a good old conversation and you have a bit of a grizzle and you work on it, and then all of a sudden we're all having a party together now instead of all separate along this horrible line. So then when you are triggered or pushed or whatever, and you would normally go into that old way of being, you don't anymore.
Yeah, but that's the integration, isn't it?
Yes.
Like that's where the inner child work is so important.
So important.
And people just don't even get like how transformative it can actually be.
Yeah.
Because you're really like healing that relationship. It's like you're re-parenting the child so it thinks that, so it knows that it's safe and they are actually in control and you have its best interest at heart. So if that's not what you got as a child, you have the opportunity to really re-parent it and make it feel safe, and then you guys like skip along working in harmony and creating like a cool life.
And it's so much lighter in your own body when you can do that.
Yeah.
You know?
But the other thing that you touched on, like, about school.
Yes.
And I'm not going to get into school.
Again, that's a whole other topic.
But one thing that I often see is, or remember, is that when you're in school as a child, you have to put your hand up to go to the toilet.
Oh, stop it. Yeah.
Like, you have to ask for permission
to
do something that your body needs.
Natural body response. And, don't even get me started, the teachers think the kid is trying to manipulate them in some way, right, rather than do their work.
Yeah.
The amount of teachers that I had to go in and have a discussion with when my kids were little.
Wow.
Can you explain to me how encouraging the child to put their drink bottle on the table and drink water anytime you like, honey, but then when they ask to go to the toilet, you can't go.
Yeah.
And I just say that to them.
Yeah,
like,
interesting.
Can you explain this to me?
Mm.
Oh, yes, but. So I would just say to them point blank, if my kid puts their hands up, you've got 1 minute.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you'll be cleaning a puddle up.
Yeah, but that's how it should be.
And that's your fault.
Yeah. I wonder if also, like, that whole question around, like, getting permission to go to the toilet, and particularly with women. I went to this, like, talk a few years ago at a health retreat about poop. And the person who was leading this talk about poop was, like, really... I was going to say in deep shit about her poop. Like, she was very serious about it, and she said that one thing that she'd noticed is that men will get up and they will schedule their time like clockwork to go to the toilet. So it's like, it's 6 a.m, I'm getting up, I'm doing my poo. Yeah. Like 15, 20 minutes, like every day.
Yep.
And they always make time and space for it. But a woman, on the other hand, would often hold it in. Yeah. And they would be like, well, I have to get the kids ready for school, and I have to do the X, Y, and Z, and then like this and this and this, and then all of a sudden the urge is gone. And so we're literally like holding our shit.
Ignoring the body, the natural body's response. Yeah.
So then when you think about like the dynamics of men and women, like men are often more logical, analytical, women are often like feeling, supportive, nurturing, like I'm talking about the divine masculine and feminine here.
That's correct, yeah.
So it's interesting, isn't it? Because then is the feminine somehow being taught to hold and to hold it all in, and what does that do to us? Yeah. Like when it comes to poop, like if you're holding in your poop all the time, it can literally be toxic and pay havoc on your health.
Cause all sorts of problems.
Yeah.
The training is bizarre to me.
The training?
Yeah, that happens around exactly what you're saying. That's training. It's training.
Yeah, but where does it come from?
It's subconscious training. Yeah. You know, the dude that decided to create school systems, that's where it comes from. And look, there's good and bad in everything, and you know, we've got to find our path through. But all those little micro changes that we make and those discussions we have with people, like I did with the teachers, just to get them to explain to me how this is logical. And as soon as I said it, they're like, oh yeah, like it was like a revelation for them. Yeah, like they didn't even think about it. That part was quite astounding to me. That you think that there's something common about sense. I have discovered there's nothing common about sense. That a lot of people don't know, so don't assume. So if you can see something that someone else isn't seeing, tell them about it or ask them a question. Yeah. Because it helps them to reflect on what it is that they're doing, because most of the time that person is actually not happy with what the result is either, but can't see the forest for the trees.
It's like they're running on a program.
Whether it's a program or it's just they've got too much on their plate, so they literally can't see what's in front of them. They're busy themselves in their own mind, you know? Yeah. So it's like, to me now, everything's a collective job. And it runs around shoulds. Yeah. It runs around when you feel it rise in you and you feel that it's a no, find a way to deliver your no where it doesn't make the other person wrong.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, like, wouldn't it also be really nice that instead of having to say no and being blunt, or saying yes when you don't really want to do that, if you could actually have an open conversation and be like, hey, I'm not sure how I'm going to feel on that day. I've got to make sure that I prioritize my own self-care or whatever it is. Can I get back to you? Or if you really...
But even articulating it that way. Yeah. Exactly what she just said.
Yeah, thanks.
right? Even articulating it that way gives complete clarity to the person.
Yeah, exactly.
And if they choose to see that and get an offended response to it or get upset about it, well, that's about them. You know?
Yeah.
And they have an opportunity to look into that rather than decide they'll call you all the names under the sun and say how dumb that is or whatever their opinion is, right?
Yeah.
That's gaslighting.
Yeah.
If that happens, right?
Yeah.
Especially when somebody's just told you what it is that they need.
Yeah.
So it is important now for people to be able to just articulate exactly what you just did.
Yeah, I just wish there was more like honesty like that. Like,
I think that it comes back a lot to that persecution stuff. In that to say that out aloud, and the throat chakra, to say that out aloud is scary for some people.
Yeah.
Because perhaps in the past they've tried that and then they've had gaslighting.
Yeah.
And they don't want that because that ruins their peace. So they'll do everything to avoid it. And what if the time is now? All right. To just let the person levitate and to not take their gaslighting personally and to stand in your own truth and know that how you are seeing the world and what you need is important.
Yeah.
As important as whatever they need. And that there might be a different way to do things now.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's so valid. I have like this one friend who we are just so open and vulnerable with.
Amazing.
So we have those conversations when it's just like, oh, we're supposed to do something together. Hey, look, I'm really not feeling emotionally available for this phone call right now.
Yeah.
Then you don't do it, because if you're already feeling like that and somebody's then going to emotionally dump on you, then
it's just like all of a sudden you're just taking all that on as well.
Yeah.
And you might not have the capacity for it.
Yeah.
So it's living real. Remember to like and subscribe, and next week we'll hear the second part of our conversation with Monique Elouise from Anahata Reiki. Can't wait to see you then. Bye. The content found within these podcasts are not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent disease. Nothing on this website is intended to diagnose, treat, or cure any physical or medical conditions. If you have any physical or medical conditions, you should seek the advice of your medical professional immediately.